What's up, guys? It's Showtime Fight from your boy John Showtime. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and all that good stuff. Follow me on social media at Papa Showtime, John Showtime, whichever one you find first. And let's get into the nitty-gritty. Today, we are going to talk about the first pay-per-view fight in the UFC this year, and that is headlining Jamahal versus Teixeira. And I'm super excited for this card. It's a very solid card. I cannot wait to watch all these fights. We have the return of Terrence McKinney with a full camp. We have hopefully the last fight of Shogun. It's gonna be crazy. So now also, this is the brand new year, so we gotta make this thing spicy. This is my first time doing picks for the year, so we're gonna make sure that I put my record. We're gonna have boxing and MMA record. Where, if I'm right, wrong. But hopefully I end this year with a winning season. With a winning year. If not, I'll do something super wild for you guys. You can put in the comment what you want me to do, depending on if it's illegal or, something that will give me, divorce, that I'm not gonna do it. But if it's something that's just reasonable, but still a little wacky and crazy, I'll do it. So, once again, put in the comments, I got you. Now, let's talk from the bottom up. All right, I'm not gonna break down the prelims and all that good stuff. I only want to talk for like less than 10 minutes. So let's get into it. The first fight we're gonna talk about is gonna be Paul Craig versus Johnny Walker. All right, this is a fight that we really know how the path to victory for both these guys. It's pretty simple. Paul Craig, he's gonna go for submission. He's gonna spam takedowns. Johnny Walker, he's going for the knockout. All right, Johnny Walker has moved his camp to Dublin, which I'm gonna factor into my pick. Okay. Now, like I said, we already know how these guys went. Paul Craig just came off a pretty bad loss. He didn't look pretty good. He didn't look good at all. And Johnny, we already know Johnny's been getting KO'd and he's been exposed as champ. Now, here's what I think this fight's gonna play off. I think that the range and the height of Johnny's gonna cause issues, and I think that him changing his camp to Dublin, he's gonna learn to be a little bit more patient. He's going to be able to pick his shots better. He'll be able to defend these takedowns. And I'm gonna go first round KO by catching Paul Craig with something wild and crazy. However, he's still gonna be patient. That doesn't mean he's still explosive, still packed power. He's still gonna be able to catch him off guard and be able to get a finish in the first round. So I'm gonna go first round finish with my boy, Johnny Walker. Now, second fight, pretty interested in, just for the simple fact that this fight is one that has just Andrade, which I'm any fight she's in, I'm front and center watching. But then also you have Lauren Murphy. Lauren Murphy, we all know from Tough, the infamous moment with her and Eddie Alvarez. But ever since that, I don't know who you are, what's your name, I'm gonna say somebody else's name. She's had a very solid career in the UFC. She was able to fight for the title the last fight. She got absolutely washed, but it was also expected. She's a limited fighter, It's only so high up you can go. We all are humans. We all have our limits. She wasn't beating Valentina. On her best day, she wasn't beating Valentina. It's just unfortunate, but it's just a fact. Now she's fighting a person in Jessica Andrade who is a tiny tornado, an absolute bulldozer, is just an absolute dog. Like whatever you want to say as far as strong, rough, and honestly top of the food chain, that's Jessica Andrade. The only UFC fighter to have wins at 135, 125, and 115. The strongest one of the strongest pound ladies in all of MMA. And for a person I'm saying all this about her strength, she also has great cardio. Okay, that's unheard of. Her pace is crazy and she's able to keep it up with a good cardio. So I'm a big fan, and I think this is a really tough matchup for Lauren, just for the simple fact that we know what Lauren likes to do. She's a tough fighter. She likes to grind out W's. She isn't bad really anywhere, but she's not really great anywhere. Okay, I'm gonna say great. I was saying toughness. However, as far as skill set, she's okay, she's good, but I wouldn't say great. So I think that that's gonna present a really big issue. I think that what's gonna happen is Lauren's obviously gonna, try to stick and move, but Jessica Andrade with her power is gonna be able to catch her with shots that Lauren's never felt before. Lauren has never fought a striker that punches as hard as Jessica Andrade. She's gonna try to wrestle her. I think that even in the strength department, she will get worked. And I think that when she realizes this lady's too strong for her, she's gonna keep it standing and she's gonna try to go 1-2s. And I think that's gonna eventually get Jessica Andrade to catch her with a hook that will hurt her, and it's gonna be a tornado. There's gonna be a bunch of shots that's coming in, and it's gonna put her down. So I'm gonna say Jessica Andrade by first round TKO. I like Lauren. I think she's tough, but this is a very tough matchup for her, in my opinion. Now, the fight after that, let's go ahead and talk about the fight that honestly has the biggest odds for one person, and it's pretty simple why, and that's Gilbert versus Neil Magny. Now, we already know about each of these guys, all right? Neil Magny, who also came from Tough. And once again, I like to say, man, like, people like to poop on Tough. Tough is a good show. I'm tired of it. If you don't want to watch it, then don't watch it, fine. However, I hate everybody crying and complaining about it. It's a very enjoyable show. Yes, it's a reality show. You don't want to watch, I like Contender Series. You can always have both. You don't have to pick between one. I watch Contender Series and also watch Tough. And it's a good way to, one, know the fighters, get to know these guys personally on a personal level. Two, it's fun to switch things up and have a challenge. Like being in a house for 2 months, being able to only focus on fights, that's tough. I wouldn't do it. But it's good to see other people who's willing to do whatever it takes to be able to accomplish their goals. And also, they always produce quality fighters. So many champions have come from Tough, still to this day. So, like I said, Neil Magny is one of those guys, once again, that is a really good fighter that came from Tough. But, you know, we know he's limited as well. He's not a championship caliber fighter, but he is a really good fighter. Gilbert Burns is a championship caliber fighter. He is, ain't too many flaws in this man's game. You can say that he doesn't have the greatest chin, but if you want to talk about takedowns, he has that. When we talk about jiu-jitsu, world champion. We talk about striking, very good. Chalk Usman. Like, the guy is good. Absolutely phenomenal. Being able to transition from world for jiu-jitsu to stand-up department, it's almost seamlessly. It's crazy. Crazy to really think. I will say that it will be a challenge in the stand-up department to fight Neil Magny, because Neil Magny's 6'3", y'all. Gilbert 5'9". They say they are listed under 5'10", he 5'9", y'all. And that's being nice. He looked like a dwarf fighting freaking Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And Neil Magny is what, 2 to 3 inches taller than him? They have a 9-inch reach advantage for Neil Magny. Neil Magny is really good at sticking and moving. He's really good at not getting hit, avoiding shots. It's also easy when you have a 10-inch, 12-inch reach advantage over people. Not to say that Gilbert can't close the distance. He's still explosive. He still has power in his shots. All that still matters. But I do think that Gilbert's going to use his wrestling in this fight. I think that he's going to take him down. He's going to go for the submission. And I think that he's just going to beat it by unanimous decision. I think that Neil's going to be able to survive, but I think he's going to lose. So I'm going to say, like I said, Gilbert Burns, unanimous decision, will be able to move on. This kind of felt like a stay busy fight. But, you know, props up to Gilbert. And also for Neil for always, Gilbert for always being down, but Neil for always being down. To have the most dubs at 170 is, for a guy that hasn't won a championship and stuff, it's actually impressive. So, once again, Neil, you're a dog, keep it up. Good luck. Now, the co-main, we all know, which is the people's main event, and that is Brandon Moreno versus Deiveson Figueiredo. In his hometown, his championship belt on the line for a quadrilogy, the first ever quadrilogy in the UFC. I am hyped for this. The first 3 were absolute bangers. This 4th one's gonna be a banger. I mean, I would have never thought I'd be excited to see a fight 4 times in a row, basically. But I am. I'm 100% ready. So yeah, we already know how this fight's played out for the first 3. This 4th fight, this is a fight where you really don't know who's gonna win. You don't. If you watched all 3 fights, if you saw the first fight, you would have been like, it was a fun fight, but Figueiredo's clearly better. If you would have saw the second fight, you would have been like, okay, never mind. It's clearly Brandon Moreno that's much better. It's his season. Then the third fight, you're like, all right, bro, I don't know who's better. I don't know. These guys, it just seems like it's a coin toss anytime. So this 4th fight, it's a coin toss. I can't sit here and say that I'm 100% certain who's going to win. I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen, but, you know, take it for what you want. Now, simple and plain, let's break down styles. Brandon Moreno is a Mexican, and he fights like one, all right? High guard, pressure, punches. That is it. He does pack power, but he's not like Figueiredo power. But yet and still, he has really good cardio. He's tough, has a great chin, loves pressure, loves to throw punches. And I mean, he does throw kicks, but he's primarily like to throw punches. And you know, obviously he finished his last fight with a kick. But yeah, I mean, we know what he brings. He's 29 years old, super young, and still growing. That's the thing, still growing. I think Figueiredo is at 35. We've seen the best of him. I don't think we're going to see better versions of him. However, it seems like his last fight, he was able to figure out how to cut weight better, which was a big factor in his fights. But once again, we already know with him, he's decent jiu-jitsu. He's pretty good jiu-jitsu, really good power. That's his Achilles heel. He's not on a lesser turn. On a lesser turn, he's kind of like a Deontay Wilder. He can give up rounds because at the end of the day, he can knock your lights out in like a shot. So how is this fight going to play out? This is going to be a classic. I do think for this, and this is the last fight we're going to see these two in, hopefully for a long time or ever, I think that this is going to be a finish. I think that this is not going to go to the judges. And I'm actually going to say that Brandon Moreno is going to finish him in the 3rd round by TKO. I think he's going to catch him with the body because he leaves his body open so often. And I think Brandon Moreno is going to hurt him to the body and then catch him with a left hook and knock him down and be able to get a finish by TKO. So I'm going to say TKO stoppage, Brandon Moreno, 3rd round. And I'm a big Brandon Moreno fan too. So does that have anything to do with it? No. Because if I thought he would lose, I would have said I'm pretty sure I picked him. Picked Figueroa for the rematch, the 2nd fight. Now, the main event, the fight that most of the Brazilians are gonna be going crazy for, and that is for the old man Gilbert Teixeira to get his title back versus Jamahal Hill, the American from Chicago, guy who's now on a 3-fight win streak after losing to Paul Craig, who's on for the opening fight. This fight's gonna be fun. It is kind of a striker versus grappler. We know that Jamahal Hill wants to keep this standing. He has power. He will knock your lights out. And we do know that Gilbert Teixeira packs power as well. However, recently he realizes it stands in the stand-up department. He's chinny. He gets hurt. So what's smart? Take it to the ground. And that's what kept him in the fight with Jerry, honestly. Like, that's what almost won him the fight versus Jerry. He transitioned to a wrestler. He's going to have to do this time too. I think that if he doesn't, this will be a short night for him. He will get slept. And it's all about Jamahal, man. He got this fight kind of last minute. Has he been, how much has he been working on his wrestling? How much? And honestly, it could be with his kind of power. It can honestly be just stuffing one shot and being able to land his knockout shot and be able to finish the fight. So, and Glover, we already know, man, he's going to take a shot the first 15 seconds, 20 seconds of this fight. I don't see him standing for too long. He will take a shot. And if he gets that shot, the fight will be over. I'm not saying Jamahal is a liability on the ground, but I think that there's a big gap between the two. And also, let me say this. Jamahal Hill is funny, all right? I'm a big fan because he's hilarious. I love the roast sessions he has on Twitter. I support that fully. I think MMA Twitter is one of the most toxic things ever. And if you're not one of those people, then cool. I mean, if you are one of those people, then I am talking to you. I don't care. These guys on Twitter talk so much junk. I love that these athletes give it back to them. I love when KD does it. I love that Jamahal Hill does it. Flame these dudes up, man. You guys are talking about how your Twitters and tweet comms and stuff, and saying all this junk with your fake profiles. Some actually have audacity to bring up their real profiles, and then they get mad when a person does it back to them. Continue to do it. I find it hilarious. How do I see this fight going? I'm going to say Gilbert Teixeira is going to get the down. I think he's going to drag him down. I think he's going to beat him up. And I'm going to see a rear naked choke finish by Gilbert Teixeira. And then he's going to go defend his belt. It's not really his belt. It's Jerry's belt. Versus Ankalaev or Jerry, whichever one wins. But I would love to hear you guys pick. That is what I'm picking. I'm sticking to it. And it's going to be a 2nd round rear naked choke. So this is going to be a fun fight if it goes the way that I said. So like I said, man, make sure y'all follow me on social media. Stay blessed and all that good stuff. And this is Showtime Fight Form.